Well, hello! Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, joined with hubby.
Okay.
And fur babies.
Woof woof.
And today I'm bringing out a piece that you guys haven't seen in 5 years. Whew! Done a lot of work to it. The last time this was on camera, this was the photo in June of 2020. And we've had it out working in the members live for about 6 weeks now. Excuse me. And this is where we're at now. So quite a big difference. And I believe, in fact, it was this live where I used the hot air to start darkening up some areas just to see how this piece would do. But I just wanted to show you how sticking with something can really make a difference.
Yeah.
Now, if this is blurry for you, make sure you hit the, there's a gear for YouTube. It's either in the bottom right or the top right. Click that gear and hit quality and go to 1080p 60, and it should be all nice and clear for you. Alrighty, let's get going. Hey, Bob.
Okay.
Look at that, Virginia. Hello. Alright, so first thing, I need to remember to remind people to clean their pins, even if it's just a quick wipe off. So how I do that, just so we can get that done, is this is a leather strop. I do not use the sandpaper side. It's only on the leather side. If you don't have a strap, you can use the inside of an old belt or blue jeans. Old blue jeans work as well. What you're looking for is to make sure, especially if you tend to burn hotter, that you don't have any carbon. And the easiest way to tell that is run your fingernail over the tip, and if you feel any kind of resistance, there's carbon on your tip. So the white stuff, which there's still plenty on, I don't need to put any on. I'm using a powder form of aluminum oxide. I tend to like the powder better. You just do a couple of swaps, enough to get the carbon off, wipe it off, and you're good to go. I didn't have any carbon. Hey, Michelle. I didn't have any carbon because I tend to burn lighter. So I don't have anything to worry about with that. I've turned it on, so now I can't touch it again, or I'll burn myself.
Now, you're doing this when the pen is cold? Or
when the pen is cold.
Okay.
Only when it's cold.
Okay, I was just checking.
Only when it's cold.
Never know.
You'll burn your strop if you do it hot. Plus, I'm going to guess some fumes because you're burning the leather with the chemical compound on it.
Hubcap's got to ask these questions.
I know. This is the aluminum oxide that I use. I've got it from Mountain Woodcarvers. And this is the powder. And this will last for the rest of my burning career. And I've already been using this since 2017. So, it's still completely full. Alright. So I'm heating up, which is already hot, the 18 small Optima spear shader. This is my first go-to pen. I tend to do most all of my burning with this pen. And this pen is, let's see here, I got it in, I think, 2019. It's at least 5 years old and still looks like the day I got it. All nice and clean. Let's get you guys set up. We're going to focus on I was going to do a very quick critique of what I need to get done on this piece. I need to darken the band that goes across here and comes up. This is a very prominent band in the photo, so I need to get this put in. I've already darkened along here. I don't feel it needs to go any darker. I think we're good where we're at. I do need to darken this area here, and then I need to put the band that goes across these cliff face. This is closer to the camera, so it's more detailed. So I need to put the bands in there. And then I just need to darken and make sure I still keep my perspective correct on the wall. This wall does not go as dark as this wall. And of course, it is darker in person, but because of how the light hits the wood and then bounces into the camera, the burning looks lighter. So I'll hold it up so you can see that it is darker than what we get, what it looks like. This is at, let's see here, 90 degrees, like it was hanging on the wall. And remember, when we varnish, it's going to go darker, including the areas that don't have any burn, because that's what wood does. I've darkened up the clouds more so than my reference because I wanted a more dynamic sky in order to pop out the background. That's what I wanted as an artist, so that's what we worked on with the members, was fixing this and getting it the way I want it. Let's see here, I've detailed more down at the bottom. And I just need to get the detail and the shading in on this side of the piece. Well, actually the whole piece. So let's go ahead and get in there. Alright. Make sure I'm at an angle so you guys can better see how I'm holding the pin, hopefully, in theory, to the wood. Now the grain flows naturally in this direction, and there's going to be some areas of the grain that are going to take the burn darker. That is, this is a birch panel from Trekell. That is just the nature of how wood is. So I need to be kind to myself. It's okay. We do still want the wood grain to show because it's a burning. We want to show that we've burned on the wood. So we are going to darken. I need to grab my reference to make sure. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So looking at this reference, the band is right here and goes across, goes up and up to here. And then we do still have a little bit here. I might add a little bit more here. What I've been trying to decide is how far I want the clouds to be coming over the cliffs, because in that case, based on how the sun is hitting down in here, it's lower on the horizon. I'd say it's about 2-3 o'clock ish. Yeah. So I have to decide how far I want these clouds to come forward. They don't have to cover the sun fully, because I don't want that, because I'm going to use white pastels for the clouds. So I need to pay attention to that. So working in the back here, two things. I need to make sure that I darken in the right perspective, meaning this cliff is facing forward. Hey, Andrea. So I need to make sure and drag directly down towards the river to keep my perspective right. It's really easy to knock off your perspective. In fact, I did that for this piece and had to go back and fix areas. Still working on that. So I need to drag straight down. And I'm completely flat on the wood. Find my next area. Now I was thinking about this. Normally I don't outline, but I think for a piece like this, a light outline for part of the area would have been fine, just so I didn't lose.
That's shocking.
I know. As long as it was really light, I think it would have been easier not to get lost. Had I done that, I would not do an outline for a portrait, an animal, but for this being a landscape, I think it's okay as long as you go really light. So I'm just dragging down the top half of the tip, just dragging down. And because I'm on lower heat, it is going to require more heat in areas I've already burned. Just straight down. Some areas I need to fix being straight so that I can get my curves for the cliffs. Let's see here. So we have our shadow band right here, but also looking at the reference, it's right here. In fact, it's more here, looking at the reference you guys are looking at, than it is on the photo I'm looking at. So let's work on darkening the band. Remember, where it turns is going to be darker, like right in here. And I just made that look like, well, let me zoom in closer, just to make sure you guys can see. If you're coming in late, this photo is of the piece 5 years ago. And I'm going to go ahead and pop that off, just so, there we go. Then I think I'm going to zoom you in. I try not to use the zoom too much because it can blur. But we'll do that. There we go. That way you guys can see where I'm working. So I need to darken. And I don't necessarily have to darken all of it, but I do need to darken ledges. Make sure I get my perspective right. And the darker areas is where it's curving. Let's see here. I probably should zoom in my reference just so I can better see. They're dragging straight down. To keep the cliff going straight down. See, this cliff I've got kind of going in the wrong direction. Plus it's a separation. So I'm going to darken so that we can get that separation. Working on this side, I was having to make my lines come towards this cliff, but because this is in the back, I need my horizontal lines when the cliff is facing us to be as straight on as possible. Because anywhere that the lines are off, that's going to throw it off. Now where it turns, we can put a curve on the turn. That isn't a problem. It's just where it's facing us that we need to keep it as straight as we can get it. Let's see here, this is darker. And even going this light, when I wipe down with denatured alcohol, I'll be able to see.
Sheila's here.
Hey Sheila. I'll be able to see if the burning pushes back into the wet wood. Because if it does that, your burning didn't disappear, it just became the same color as the wood. So the burning itself is still there. If you're having a problem with that, you need to darken your burning just a little bit and then clean the board off with denatured alcohol in order to see what you lose. You don't really lose it. It's still there, just what you need to darken up. Darken up these cliffs. Just trying to find the shapes. There is no way to be exact with this. There's just too many shapes going on. But we do need enough shapes to look right. And then it'll be feeling realistic. Drag down. Darken. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what all needs to go much darker. Like down here, I'm just flat running up and down because I'm not lifting the pen. The wood acts as a heat sink and draws some heat out. And that allows me to keep burning without adjusting my heat setting. Because the minute I lift and touch down in an area that has not been burned, is going to burn pretty good, even at 3. So as long as I keep my pen moving, don't lift, I can control, and then when I want to, go a little darker, go up on the tip, get into these small areas, let the pen reheat a little bit. It only takes a second. And then I can go back down to what I was doing. See, right here I'm fighting with the grain. So I'm just going to darken all this. Try to keep that line straight. Fix any lines that might have gotten off, which is really easy to get thrown off. Leave some areas for the light. Back out. So you guys got a good, let's turn this off, see if that helps. No, that does not help the glare. That makes it worse. So we are going to go back here. I'll just move it over a little bit. Trying to keep, this is my perspective right here. This is my center of the piece. So I'm trying to keep it right where it'll hang on the wall. That way when I drag down, it doesn't, I don't lose the perspective and start burning at an angle when I need to be burning straight up and down. Let's see here. We'll back off here in a minute just so we can see. It does make it easier to see if you look at it in different sizes. So that's why I tend to back off, pull it out, because your brain, right now you're so focused on what you're doing, your brain thinks it knows what it's supposed to look like based on being so focused. So by backing out and then re-looking at it again, you'll see it a little differently, which makes it easier to make the adjustments that you want. Now we're over here by this cliffside. These are supposed to have a shadow and pop out at an angle. They are a bit darker. Let me see here. They come down to a light area that is on this side. It's the slope, so I need to burn this at an angle to get the slope here. I may have to do a little sanding to fix that slope. Oh, say that 5 times fast. Slope, 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 slope. So let's pull that out. I'll have, yeah, I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of sanding right here, because right here is a slope. And I need to bypass this dark and bring it down. So let's try doing this. Always reassessing. We'll put a curve on this slope. There we go. Push this back a little bit. And this part is darker. So I shall darken this. Try to get my slope. So right now I'm just up on the tip. It's probably hard to see. Let's pull it up a little bit. There we go. Move this over. Maybe that'll cut the glare a little bit. I see some dark right here. And I'm just moving around trying to find all the dark areas are. Use some negative burn to fix some shapes. Like we had a rock sticking out right here. I may have to do some sanding to pull the rock out of the middle. It's a pretty standout rock, so you may have to do that. Oh, and because this is a public live, unfortunately, it does have ads, but I set them to occur every 30 minutes. So hopefully that does not mess up anybody's viewing pleasure. The fact that you could set it for every minute or 4 minutes is like, who does that? That's crazy. But I'm a person that can't stand ads. So
This is true.
let's see here. I can trying to find my bearings on what we're looking at. I mean, I intentionally pay YouTube Red for no ads, and I know not everybody can do that. I just do not like them. They get me quite grumpy.
This is true.
Let's see here. Curve over. Darken this. Now this is the very top. In some areas we do have some darker rocks. So I'll just lightly tint them. I don't have to get every shape right, but I do need to be as straight. So if you're doing a farm, we'll say, you still need to make sure the lines that are straight come out straight, because if they come out off, it will throw your piece off. So if you've been having that problem, that may be why. You may need to fix your perspective. And then once you fix your perspective, it'll feel a lot better. So I'm just going to darken this whole area. Let's see here. So I got the dark over here. So this was supposed to be more curved. So I'm just up on the tip, putting that curve in, and I'm tapping with just the tip I don't want to make it a full-on line. There we go. This way. Because a full-on line starts looking a little off. There, I just put a little curve on it. Let's see here. We got some more plants up here. A small scrub brush. Now this, when working on this side, I need to come straight down on any of the vertical lines, but any of the horizontal lines, unless they curve in, they need to be coming at this cliff. So I need to pay attention to that. This is a bright area that's kind of washed out. Come up here. Just trying to find my shapes. Go, got that. Got that. Let's move it over so you guys can see it. I also need to move my reference. This is straight down. Because it climbs up. This is straight down. Luckily, like with other subjects, unless somebody's looking directly at the reference photo like you guys are, little things here and there won't stand out. As long as you get the line straight and the tonal values right, nobody's going to notice. Unlike with the portrait. Alright, so we need to darken. Here I am turning my pen so that I'm using more of the top right flat area of the tip. And drag across. This is a slope, but there is some vertical going on that slope. And I'll probably have to come back and darken this side again. But for now this side is facing us. So it's more straight on. As it curves around, it will curve at an angle pointing a little bit more towards the back cliffs. Darken some of this. And I can use the edge to, or the tip to straighten out some lines. Right here, very thin, very small. I might try different pens, but I tend to use the same ones over and over again. So that line feels off because of this right here I need to straighten up. So we'll just make it wider. Turning, where it turns in, is going to be darker because it's not getting hit by the sun. Trying, there we go. See, these are facing this way, so I need to go more horizontal. Put some shadow under this cliff face. There's a lot of stepping down that is occurring. All this is darker. So I'm flat, top half of the tip. It's going to go up a little bit, just a hair when it's turning, and it's going to go straight on. Where it's not. I'm going to tap in some darks here just so we can get this shape to stand out a little bit more. But I'm tapping because I don't want constant straight lines. Or like full-on stripes. Got a ridge here. I'm going to keep the edge lighter so that it stands out more. Plus, it's more likely to be getting hit. Except this is darker. Hit by light, but I'll have to darken the clouds up against it even more to get rid of the halo. But in this area, as we were working with the members, they can tell you I was really fighting the grain in darkening that. Alright, so this comes up, up, up. This. So I'm flat. And just moving straight across. Tone this and make sure I keep my lines straight. And I think only for a piece like this would I outline. And that's just so I don't have to go back and do all the fixing I've had to do in fixing my perspective. I'm trying to straighten this line. Let's see here. Because these, I've got them kind of curved, but they really need to be going straight. And luckily, because I started off at a low heat, I can fix these. A little bit more. Just trying to stay horizontal. So these strokes are just...
Michael Ann's here.
Hey, Michael Ann. Been a while. We'll back it off and see what all needs to go. Because I know this band still isn't dark enough. And more of the darks are down here. Let's see here. We got a face, straight up and down face. I do need to tint more. So I'm doing that flat. Touch down an area. I've already burned. I'm just going over the whole area. So it'll feel more like a cliff wall face versus columns. Straight across, up on the tip. Connecting some of these lines because we can have H's or, you know, sideways H's to denote going in and coming back out. We do need more shadow in here. So I'm trying to make sure my hand is straight up and down. I've got my elbow tucked into my stomach to brace so that I can control straight across, straight lines. Straight across. This has really been going back and forth fixing things. There we go. Those look more straight on across now. So now I need to focus on making this. So this comes this way. We've got a light area here. I'm going to tuck my elbow again. Go straight back and forth. Because this is a cliff face. It's not as much of it like the these right here as I was making it look like. It's more of a straight up and down cliff. There's some of the washed away areas up at the top, but not on the body. So let's make that go straight up and down. Fix the top. We'll keep that light, although I'm seeing it now. This curves this way, and then we have a face that is turning. So I'm actually going to angle my line a little up on the right side.
Michael Ann says it's looking beautiful.
Thank you. It's definitely a lot going on this one. Let's see here. It's light on here. In some areas I can go through and darken up. So this is a cliff part that's coming out. This one I went pretty dark on those. So let's put in our shading. Over those lines. Leave some light. Bring out our cliff face. Comes up a little bit. It's very small, just small adjustments. This is darker. Like the sun's not hitting this because it'd be blocked by some of the cliff on the other side under my hand. So we'll darken that up. And I'm doing it at an angle because this does have some slope. This is where the slope stops, right about here. Alright, so looking at this, what else? I went pretty dark there. And this is the edge of the shadow. Comes down. And remember, this is all a part of the band and shadow going across. We've got two different areas. We have a band that goes across here. Then we've got a shadow that comes up like this. And that's what I'm trying to capture. Since that went pretty dark, no, I need to go darker. Because I'm so hesitant, because this is a lot of stuff going on and hard to fix, and keeping it at a lighter heat setting. But I am going to have to up it because I'm burning these areas. Darks in there. Let's see here. See where we're at. That just goes to show that some of these shadows down here do need to go darker. Shape them a little bit better. It is nice not having to constantly change pens, but it is going to get to a point in some of the areas where I'm going to have to switch over, and I've had to do it, like darkening up the slope here with the Optima medium spoon shader, and that's just to get a smoother, closer burn. Alright. Back out here in a minute and see how some of this is looking. Alright, let's back it out, see what we need to do. I know it still needs more darks, but I need to see the shape. Because I'm looking at the monitor so that I can see what you guys are seeing. I'm looking at the reference. Let's see here. Get my placement right. Right here needs to go darker. And then we have shadow that's coming down and ending here. So I need to angle up find the ledges. Yeah, that's what I gotta do. Alright. Alright, so I know this area, looking at the roof, let me back off my, just so I can see. And I was tapping and quickly moving in an area I've already burned so that I didn't get the dreaded blob. And then I will move up. So right about here, I think, is where I need to start darkening. I may have to come back and reshape some of the cliffs. We'll see. Oop. Oh well. Now that's a crack. Cracks happen. I'll darken it around it, and now it looks like I did it on purpose. Only you guys will know that was an oops. I don't feel that's something worth fixing. That's why I'm just moving on. I don't think it matters, especially with rocks. And there's cracks everywhere, so what's another one? I need some highlights, so I'm not going fully over the top of some of these. Keep on darkening. Let's see here what we got. Like I said, I'm looking to see it at a different perspective so my eyes can better focus. Where it goes in, it needs to go darker. Don't have to make it a straight line, but I do need to go in. Right now I'm flat. Straighten this out. Let's see here. So down here, it's these areas. I need to figure out what the curve is that I put in here, because I feel that it's off. I don't know why. You know what? I'm just going to change it. Especially when you haven't worked on a piece for 5 years. you may forget why you did something.
This is true.
In 5 years, you learn a lot too. Hopefully, in theory. And so I've had to look at it from a different perspective, and that's why I've had to go back and fix some things. Realizing I was off. Oh, sorry, my camera is right in my face and I keep bumping it. So I don't know. This could have been grain that I was going around. So I'm going to cover some of it to incorporate it. It's not so obvious. We'll move further away. Alright, let's see here. Right across here. I'm looking to see, I see a landmark here. And that is about here, is when the shadow starts. The band. So going straight across. Rising, because it does rise. There it is. It's not turning. These are straight at us. So I need to darken these bands in order for it to feel connected. Turning some corners. The shadows definitely help turn the corners. We need them. I'm just trying to blend out the shadow a bit. We don't want to make all the lines obvious. What is that? Yeah, stepping away for 5 years makes a difference. And as I've been fixing stuff, can't help myself going, what was I thinking? At this point, I just want to get it done. Make some thicker bands so they're not just lines. Some areas are a little bit curved, so a little bit smiley face. Help with that. Some are straight across. Let's see here. Are we closer? Darker up here. Bring in some more shadows. It's a lot of little bitty areas. And so see, this side is turning away. So the lines need to be just a hair angled down. so that it looks like it's turning away from us, with that part sticking out straight at us. Trying to think. Let's darken this. I'm not looking at the reference as much other than to see where the general stuff is. So see, I had to turn my hand. Bring it straight down towards the river, because that's looking at us. And it curves around. And I'm just tapping to give a little bit of illusion. It may not even stand out to you on camera. See, I can darken right up against the edge. Get rid of that halo. And this negative burning will help stand out the lighter stuff. I'm even going to darken the sky right where it comes to the top. So I've got that dot there. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn it into cliff top. And then it doesn't just read it as a dot. In fact, it may not even stand out to you guys. But looking at the screen, I can see a dark line. Halo. I need to pull the cloud up. And darken some of those areas to break up that line. I'm flat. Oval strokes, I'm trying to watch where the grain is going, because I know that will grab, give me blobs that I don't want in the sky. Blobs on the rocks is fine, because then it just looks like a bush or a rock. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I still feel like I need to pull up the cloud, but I don't think we need to focus on that right now. Still trying to darken up our band. It's turning. That's turning. That's turning a little bit. Shadow there.
Michael Ann says she thinks all the shadows would boggle her brain.
It is a lot. It is a lot. It really is. It'd be one thing if I wasn't going for realistic burning, but because I am, it is a lot going on. Just because it's a landscape, it's definitely one of my harder pieces, detail-wise, because of that. But because I live in Arizona, and we only live like 77 miles away from the Grand Canyon, to show this piece, I need it to look as realistic as possible, because there are people here who do know the Grand Canyon, do know this particular area. This particular area is called the confluence. What you don't see in the reference photo is a little further down here, there's another small river that connects to the Colorado. I believe it's the Little Colorado. And it has big time indigenous meaning. In fact, there's ruins in the rock wall. Cliff face here, there's actual ruins of where the indigenous used to grow their crops. Like I said, further down, in an area down about here, you really can't see it in the photo. The photo is cut off. Called the confluence, and it has major indigenous tribal meaning to this area, plus they used it for farming like 800 years ago. It's an important area for them culturally. And so I want to make sure I do it as realistically as possible, because there are plenty of people that this area is important to who will know the difference. This isn't just, one of the areas of the Grand Canyon. This is an extremely important area to many people. Both Navajo, Hopi, Havasupai, and I'm sure there's several other tribes that I'm failing to mention. But this area is a very important area. I want to make sure I give it the time and attention that it deserves. Because it definitely deserves it. And you can hike down there. In fact, this reference photo had people who were on the trail right about here, and I pulled those people. I didn't want to add them because there's already so much going on. So I pulled them from the reference. And I got this reference, I'm trying to remember. I think I got this from Envato in order to use. We pay a monthly subscription to Envato for copyright-free photos. I'm pretty sure that's where I got this one. If not, I got it from Pixabay. I guess I could have gone to one of the old lives and looked to see where the members have the paid members have the pattern if they want to do it. It's definitely detailed. And I absolutely still think a beginner could do this. Just taking their time and being kind to themselves. I think they would learn a lot from this piece. Come December, I'll be on my 20th year of burning. 20 years. Still learning, thankfully. If I stop learning, that would be a sad thing. Alright, so let's tone this a little bit more. I am going to go ahead and up the heat to 3.5. So I can move faster toning this area. And 3.5 may not be enough. Let's see here. There's a dark right here. Bumps. There's a shadow here. So right now I'm trying to go as vertical as possible, having the strokes point towards this back wall. Let's see here. We got some light here. We got a separation that goes up like this. Okay, so all this is going to get toned. I can always go back and pull shapes out. So I'm just going to go right across so I can get that part done. And to pull out more shapes would just be a matter of negative burning around it. So that's why I said that. Dark.
I'm just letting you know we've just passed an hour.
Really? Wow. It goes so fast. So, yeah. We'll give it a few more minutes, see if there's any questions. I'll go ahead and we'll come back live next week.
Public?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I engaged hand and my brain just went dull.
Well, no, it was just a clarification.
No, I'm glad you clarified because my brain actually literally just stopped.
And Roxy's like, Mom.
Mom time.
Time.
The dogs know how to tell time.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be... I didn't work on this this past week because I've been doing something else. I do need to say, if you're new here, thank you for joining us. Please come back next week. If you want more lives, I've got over 300 videos. I think we're close to 400, if not at 400 videos. And that doesn't include the member videos. But to become a member, just hit the next to this little subscribe button. You'll see a button that says join. You can either join through YouTube, which the payment goes to YouTube. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't do anything with your payment. I don't see it. Nothing. And then you can join our secret Facebook group, who are awesome people that are extremely helpful. Plus, I will help as long as Facebook shows it to me or I get a notification. And those live streams with the members are ad-free. I turn the ads off. I don't keep them going. Or you can join with Ko-fi. There is a link down in the description for Ko-fi. You'll still have access to the Facebook page if you have Facebook. That's just another place where you can sign up. On Ko-fi, I do see your name and address. I don't do anything with any of your information. And I post if you don't have a Facebook, I post anything that I post on the secret Facebook group also goes in the Ko-fi group so that you can see it and know what's going on. But again, I have no access to your payment. I have nothing to do with that stuff. And if you can't afford it, I totally understand. Again, there's a ton of videos. And I'm going to try to start going public live once a week or once a month. 2 max, but then the members get the rest of it. Because they're awesome and deserve it. Not that you're not awesome. That sounded bad. Everybody's awesome. We do need to start discussing members. What we're going to burn next after we're done with this. See what people want.
Michael Ann says, it's good to see you both, and thanks for sharing the info on the canyon. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining us. It's been a long time. So glad you were with us. Alright. So I'm going to pull my chair back. I'm going to pull the camera back so we can see. It still needs to go darker. It absolutely still needs to go darker. So I'm going to put that out there right now. Make sure this is straight for you guys. Let's back it off. And I will pop up. Let me turn the light off because we're not burning. Oh, angle it. Definitely getting closer. Whew, I'm hot. And let's see here. Oh, I was going to pop up the photo from 5 years ago. You can definitely see a difference.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No wonder I had to pull the... There we go. Now I can push the camera over, I think. I was zoomed in. Forgot I did that. There we go. And see, when I take a picture of this, it's going to be lighter. And then when I take another picture of it again tonight, in the same light, it'll be darker. And that's just how the light interacts differently. Different part of the day. Different kind of light. Let's see here. I'm trying to get this at a 90-degree angle-ish. As close as I can so we can see how it has gone. Hopefully it's not blurry. My eyes are a little blurry. Hopefully it's not blurry. I definitely still need to get this band right here darker for sure. Oh, what we can do real quick. I mentioned wiping off with denatured alcohol. Hopefully people haven't left us.
Yeah, they're still here, I think.
Alright, so denatured alcohol, I keep mine in a jar. Outside the US, it's called methylated spirits. You can find it at your home store in either the painting section or the camping section, because it is used for fuel as well for lamps. I'm going to wring out as much as I can. Put that lid back on because it is strong. Don't go whiffing it. This dries quickly on wood so it doesn't raise the grain, but it pulls any remnants of erasing, loose carbon, and hand oils off your wood, and you'll feel a difference in the burn. But it also is going to show you how much this is going to darken up when you varnish. So I'm just going to... I'm going to, I think, just do one side because I have wiped this down. You can see I don't have a whole lot of raw wood left. It's mostly in the sky and the water right here, so we'll do that. You can see how much has come off. Even though I've wiped this board, I've done some burning since. This is just loose carbon. But if we look at it, it's actually not going to darken up too much more. I think looking at my lighter burns. Looking at my lighter burns specifically, I'm not seeing any that are pushed back. Let's see, I got some areas right here. Let's check this. Yeah, I'm not losing too much of the burn. I do feel I need to darken because there's less section off. It seems a little too close in tonal value. Let's see here. Yeah. I think I'm pretty much done with the water overall. I'm just going to take a minute to critique what needs to be done next week. I need to still darken the band. Let's see here. I need to darken this side. I need to put bands here along this wall. And I think I'll be much, much closer to being done. Maybe a little bit more dark in here. You'll know it is dry when you put your hand next to it and it's no longer feeling cool. Then you'll know it's dry. But this doesn't raise the grain because I'm not soaking wet and it's not water. So I don't have to worry about my grain raising. But the wood is clean. As clean as it's going to get. And I'll feel a difference in burning next week. But we can see how much I wiped off. And that's just light burns. I'm not burning like heavy. That's just light burns. Alrighty. So, don't forget to hit the like button, please. Make sure that YouTube, because I've been doing so many member lives, YouTube, I don't think is sharing as much with the public because of it. And if you're new, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you're on replay, leave a comment. All that helps. You don't have to become a member. All that helps as well. Say it with me. You're awesome. You can do this. Why? You're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Bye.